Bucky's Basement. Bucky's Basement.
Try not to get so worked up, Jack, okay? After all, you brought this on yourself.
Brought what on myself? I didn't do anything!
I got everything I need. That sound familiar?
You mean because you thought I was cocky, I'm now on a permanent acid trip?
Welcome to this week's episode of Bucky's Basement. I'm Bucky, and as always in the basement with me today, I have Old Boy
Shooby-doo-wop.
and Juice Box.
What's up, Jack?
And we are back with another episode of Casting Cage. Finally, we're excited to dive back into the catalog of the Lord and Savior Nick Cage, who has graced us with his presence on stage and on screen, on film. We went through an insane series in March and the beginning of April called Cage Fight. If you missed that, it's where we took 28 Nick Cage characters. We put them in a tournament-style battle royal. We fought to the end. We found out who won. We had a bunch of people in there, a bunch of characters in there, but only one could win from 1984 to 2000 Nick Cage movies. The winner of Cage Fight, and I'll go ahead and say it, but you should go back and listen to these episodes because the battles are epic.
Spoilers over.
The battles are like they're just insane knowledge of how a Nick Cage character would beat another Nick Cage character. Creativity was involved, and we made it all the way through 28 characters.
I'm still proud of my argument as the president of the United States from guarding Tess.
Probably the best one. You sounded
Still
just
lost.
like George W. Bush.
It was like
It was
George
pretty-
W. Bush and Ross Perot like mixed together. I feel like in the movie.
That's a
'Cause it was
good,
just like,
that's a good, yeah, like Dana Carvey, Ross Perot.
yeah.
It was spot
basically.
on, actually.
It is insane. We went down from 28 to the final four, which were Castor Troy, Stanley Goodspeed, Little Junior Brown, and Doug fucking Chestnut from guarding Tess.
Represent.
We made it to the championship, which was Little Junior Brown versus Castor Troy, and ultimately the greatest Nick Cage character, or the most intimidating, the most machismo, the Nick Cage character of all Nick Cage characters for his first 28 films, none other than Castor Troy from Face Off.
So far.
So far,
I guess.
but during that first tournament, we will have a cage fight come out probably every March to coincide with March Madness. It's our madness. It's your madness. You're listening to us right now because you love Nicolas fucking Cage. And this is what we're doing. We are finally back. We're done with the tournament. We're back to Casting Cage. It's where we review Nick Cage movies in chronological order. We give you our take on them. We give you all kinds of stuff, our ratings, our plot run-through, our movie marriage, our tagline, and we're excited to bring another one back to you. We are back in the year 2000. This week, we are reviewing The Family Man.
What year? What'd you say?
2000.
Wow,
Sorry.
man. 2000.
I had to do that.
Yeah, this was a big hit. I feel like this was a big hit. Probably came out around October, November, in time for the holiday season.
It was. We can talk about that in a little bit, or we can talk about box office numbers towards the end and whatnot. This was a successful movie.
He's coming off Gone in 60 Seconds.
But why isn't it a Christmas staple?
I think it is.
You think it is?
I think it's a Christmas staple as Noel is. As Trapped in Paradise is.
Swinging a whiff.
No.
Yeah, I had never watched this movie before.
Same.
I have.
And I feel like I've seen a lot of Christmas movies.
I have seen the movie. It's just a different version of the same movie.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I saw this movie for sure. I don't know if it was in the theater or if it was at my parents' household or renting it from Blockbuster, but I definitely saw The Family Man in 2000. I have not seen it since. I remember aspects of this movie. movie. I always remember Tea Leoni. I mean, like, she is very hard to forget. Right? She wasn't even in that much. She was in a show in the 90s. I think it was called like Not Spin City. It was
No.
It was another show about it, like a newspaper or like no, she was a paparazzi or something like that. Took
She
pictures.
was a paparazzi?
Something like that.
I think there's probably a reason we haven't seen her in a lot of stuff too.
Why?
I don't. I have my own ideas on that. My kid, as soon as the movie started, I tried to watch it with my family, and my kid goes, "Is that lady's voice dubbed?" Like,
really?
Yeah, and I was like, "You mean it was she?" I'm
what's
paraphrasing it.
That's part of the appeal of Tea Leoni. I feel like her voice is like different, and it's just like kind of I don't know what it is.
Right,
I feel like it's
got a little raspiness,
maybe.
There's something there
and
because
I think her mouth is this big.
Yep. I texted you two guys 2 days ago or maybe it was yesterday when I watched this movie, and I said, dude, Tea Leoni could nag me until the end of time, and I would not get tired of it. And there's a lot of nagging going on in this movie, but we'll get into it. Before we do that, we're talking about 2000's The Family Man. They got a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes, so we're 50-50 here. 6.8 on IMDb. A lot, better than some of the Nick Cage movies we have reviewed.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into it. Before we do that, I want to get into the director. This film is directed by Brett Ratner. He is known for some pretty big things. He did the original Rush Hour and then all of the Rush Hours.
You're right.
He did The Red Dragon, X-Men, The Last Stand. I think that one was kind of fizzling off towards the end.
Probably. Yeah.
Something called Tower Heist and Hercules.
Tower Heist, is that with Eddie Murphy?
I feel like it is.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it, but I just that's all I remember.
Yeah, I feel like that dude got canceled also, right? Like
Brett Ratner?
Yeah.
I did not know that. I did
yeah,
not
he
do
got
research
accused
like
of like
that.
sexual harassment by a lot of people, and there was like some other rumors and shit. I feel like, but I'm not.
That sounds
it was all
right.
like internet speculation, maybe. Or I mean, not the sexual harassment shit, but
I think you're right. Like that rings a bell. X-Men dude.
yeah. So he had to like step away from doing any like directing or anything.
Anyway, let's get into the cast really quick of The Family Man. Obviously, we're all here each and every week that we do Casting Cage to represent or respect or acknowledge Nicolas Cage. He plays Jack Campbell in this movie, which I think everybody in this movie kind of has a dual role. You have, Playboy Jack Campbell, and you have Dad Jack Campbell, a stockbroker on Wall Street and a tire salesman. Then we have Tea Leoni. We've talked about her. Huge fan growing up as a child.
Yeah, super hot.
I mean, she was it to me.
She was it.
She was it.
Name 3 movies.
I can't name one. I can't even name the TV show, but I remember her being in everything from like 1997 to 2003.
She was in Jurassic Park 3.
Ooh, she was in Jurassic Park 3. She plays Kate Reynolds in this. I guess her dual roles are mom and lawyer. I don't know.
Is she a lawyer? She's a lawyer?
She studied law in the beginning, and she ended up in the end. She's a lawyer. And,
Gotcha.
It was like pro bono law.
Her firm was okay. I remember.
Don Cheadle playing Cash in this movie. He is the angel. I'm guessing we're assuming.
I don't know. I think he's maybe a djinn.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's not really an angel thing. It's
Yeah.
like kind of just like a trick. Or it's just
Yeah.
like
That's
shit doesn't even really reconcile itself. But it's just kind of like he comes
Just a
back and
mind
fucks
fuck.
his life up again.
Yeah,
We
it's just
talked
a
about
mind
that
fuck.
more.
Yeah.
Agreed. Then we have Jeremy Piven plays Arnie, Jack's best friend in Suburban Life. Big Jeremy Piven fan over here.
I knew you were going to say that.
Big Jeremy Piven
I
fan.
fucking knew you were going to say that. I wrote in my notes. Hold on, let me find it.
I wrote in my notes, Jeremy Piven makes my skin crawl.
Dude, he's a creep in real life, right?
No,
Something's up
I
with
don't
that
think
dude.
he is. I think he plays a creep.
He's a borderline creep in every movie or every role he's in.
Something like
He's great in PCU. I mean, these are back when Jeremy Piven was doing some
He's
decent
great
stuff.
in PCU. Sure.
Not great here. What's the show on HBO that he was in for so long?
Entourage.
Entourage.
Never seen it.
Great in Entourage. Won Emmys for that.
Yeah, we'll get into it, but
All right,
I did have a.
We're going to talk about that. And then the final build character I have out of the top 5 is Saul Rubinek, who plays Alan Mintz. He's been in some things before, but
Is he the counselor in Heavyweights?
no. that guy's in this movie.
yeah, he's definitely
I
in
need
this
to
movie.
narrow the cast down. I can't be like going on and on with the cast, for the counselor from Heavyweights is in this
Solid.
movie. So that's great that you mentioned that. We are going to dive into this plot and kind of break down this movie for you guys. But before we do that, we have a segment on Casting Cage that we have to get through because it's Old Boy and I's favorite segment. It's a little thing we call Plot by Juicebox. Is where we read the plot that you can find on the internet, and then we kick it over to Juicebox to create his own version of the plot in a segment we like to call
Plot about Juicebox, but you already announced it.
Offered the opportunity to see how the other half lives, a fast lane investment broker wakes up to find that his sports car and girlfriend have become a minivan and a wife.
It's kind of doesn't like scream Christmas if you're reading it. Like if
I'm telling you, this is not a Christmas classic.
okay.
It's barely a Christmas movie.
Right.
Set around
Honestly,
Christmas, like
but
Die
it-
Hard.
Sure, but it's like, okay. After suffering a massive heart attack after being attacked by Castor Troy with Sean Archer's face, Big Ed decides to retire from the FBI and start selling tires. He hires his daughter's boyfriend, Jack, ruining both their lives in the process.
That's it.
Damn it! Knew it was gonna. It's the Cageverse.
It is. I'm glad you guys saw that.
All right, great plot. We're here to talk about 2000's The Family Man. Let's open this movie with a plane departure scene. This has been played out in so many different movies, TV shows,
name one.
everything that you can like imagine. Any TV show. I could say Roseanne, and I guarantee
one?
you there is a plane departure scene in Roseanne.
Okay.
There's a plane departure scene in almost every sitcom you've probably ever encountered.
You're probably
most
right.
movies,
Seinfeld.
most rom-coms.
I do feel like it was more prevalent, like pre 9/11. You know,
yes.
because
Good
when
point.
it's like when you could go to the gate, like right up
It's
to
true.
the shit. You know, I mean, now it's like that's impossible. You can't even
can't.
fucking park at the airport barely you know?
Without a
It's like-
ticket.
Yeah, it's like fuck, don't want to save my relationship. Don't want to pay $90 for parking and try to save my relationship. Oh god.
That is a good point. They have
awesome.
not. I don't think they've let you go to the gate. I don't even remember you
Fuck
could
no.
go to the gate before 9/11. Like there was that always that stop where your parents would be in like the waiting area, or your like friends would be in the waiting area when you came off the plane.
No, that's true. You're right, but you could still get closer. I feel like.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
And for cinematic purposes, you got to be able to get right to the gate.
It
right?
was a thing.
Home Alone, like all that shit that you can think of. But anyway, we open this movie with a gate departure scene. Obviously, they're laying the groundwork here. Nick Cage or Jack Campbell is leaving to go to Paris for a year. Kate, his college girlfriend, doesn't want him to go, says everything will change. He says, a year couldn't change anything. And I was like, dude, is this like the end of the movie? Because it almost, that opening scene just seemed like the end of a movie.
Probably should have been.
This is a short film.
Yeah.
Man, I was like watching. I was like, "Are we supposed to believe these people are in college?" Because it's like
Yeah.
I'm like having a hard time believing that. Right
Yeah.
Nick
now.
Cage just came off like being Cameron Poe and Castor Troy and all of these
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah.
now he's in college again.
And his fucking hair plugs are in full effect in this movie
No
too,
doubt.
man.
Yeah.
Like
No doubt.
his hairline is looking interesting.
It's looking great. It's
one way to
looking
put
thick
it.
and healthy.
Okay.
Anyway, so Nick Cage decides to obviously get on the plane. That sets up the whole premise of the movie. He flies to Paris. Kate goes home. We wake up 13 years later, and what do we have?
A younger looking Nick Cage. That's the note I wrote.
That's
First
it.
note I wrote down was like, God damn, how's he look younger 13 years later? This dude is. And I
Looks
guess it's because
happy.
he's like super rich.
Super
Like, he's-
rich, happy, healthy.
Yeah.
Like everything's going for him.
Can afford that moisturizer for his face.
He's
you
like,
know?
he's fucking.
I said this. The
He's
first
Patrick
thing,
Bateman up
yeah,
here.
the first thing we see is Playboy Nick Cage, obviously stockbroker in New York. I was like, Patrick Bateman broke Gordon Gekko, and this is giving me very big Scrooged vibes, like right off the bat. Like
Totally.
you knew
Right.
it's a Christmas thing, but Scrooged, like
And that's what I kept having to remind myself is it's like, it's not that story. It's not
Yeah.
that Christmas
Yeah.
story. Because I was kept getting excited. I'm like, all right. And I was like, no, there is no Christmas future. Fuck.
You're right. It's all just, well, yeah, I guess it's not even past. It's like Christmas present.
I mean, it's a different thing.
Alternate,
like,
yeah.
It's not even like.
It's not the same thing, right?
Yeah.
it's This is reality in the movie, right? The fantasy is him going back to the family. This is what's actually happening in real life, right?
What?
Where he's making them work
The
on
Playboy.
Christmas Eve, making
Yes.
them like come
Yeah.
in. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I said. And then I wrote the next note down. So he goes back to his office Christmas Eve, keeps his people longer than they should be. About 8:30, I clocked it. Then tells his assistant to bring him in at noon the next day for an emergency
Yeah,
meeting
on
But-
Christmas Day.
on Christmas Day. But between that, for some reason, he gets a call from Kate Reynolds, his old college girlfriend that he misses. And I wrote down, why did she call? Like, this is never explained in the movie.
It is explained at
Is
the
it?
end. Yeah.
It was like she just called him because she was like leaving or something like that. I
She's
think it was.
moving and
Yeah,
had
she
a
was moving to
box of his
Paris.
shit.
That's what it was.
After 13
Fuck.
years.
All right,
a box
you're
of
right.
some stuff, dude. I mean, come on, man.
And she's trying to lecture him about closure.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, obviously, we see, he denies the airport scene in the beginning, and she accepts it in the end. So I want to talk about relationships towards the end of this review of the podcast. But let's get
Sure.
into it because, all right, so Playboy Nick Cage, I'm just going to keep calling him that. He goes out on Christmas Eve, walks down the street, walks into a store, and then we get the Don Cheadle. I'm calling it. I'm giving Don Cheadle a couple of different aliases here. This is rap god Don Cheadle.
Rap God?
Yeah, in the store. So we get the
Is that
Don.
what his visor said?
No,
I
but
sort of wrote that down.
in the corner
Can't
store
remember.
scene, he walks in the corner store. He's going to buy something on Christmas Eve. Don Cheadle comes in. He's trying to cash a lottery ticket or something. Nick Cage steps in. This sets the whole fucking thing on a roll.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. First of all, Cash, who's Don Cheadle's character, knows his name, says Jack, brings him outside, then he, gives that explanation. I call everybody Jack. But I was like, okay, this is the start of what this is. Like, it's, is this going to be a Christmas Carol? Is this going to be Scrooge? Is this going to be
con
It's a
job?
Wonderful Life? Is it going to be what
Yeah.
Christmas genre is this going to fall in?
Yeah.
The con job, I like that. The Sting.
It's a con job, I think. I think Don Cheadle drugs him, and then Kate
Steals his
paid him.
car.
Yep.
Kate paid him.
Yeah, maybe.
So he says,
I don't know. I was like, when Don Cheadle came into the picture and was revealed, it's like, okay, he's that character. He's like
Yeah.
the guide or whatever. I was like, all right, I'm on board because I don't know. I know you guys have mixed feelings about Don Cheadle, but I like him. I'm
pro
like.
Don Cheadle.
I'm pro Don Cheadle also. So I was
Yeah.
like, man, I'm on board. Like, let's go.
First of
Don't
all-
fucking do it, Bucky. Don't do it.
the only reason I don't like Don Cheadle in a certain sense is because he never should have been an MCU character, not an Avenger or somebody who helps the Avengers.
Why?
I think John Cheadle thrives in a role like the Family Man. I think he was perfect before the MCU.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I like Don Cheadle as a more dramatic actor also.
Yeah.
But I don't mind him in the MCU. I think he's like
Same.
a good character.
Same.
Good character, yes. It's like just not. He's skinny. He's not believable. He doesn't
Skinny,
sell
not
me.
believable.
He's
Who is in a
paralyzed from the waist down. So like, there's that.
skinny, not believable? Who wears a suit of armor
He's
that
just
can
too
fly?
nice. He's too nice. He's not intimidating whatsoever, I don't think. Anyway, all right, let's get back into this because he says that you brought this on yourself, Jack. Jack goes home, falls asleep, wakes up, boom, Christmas morning. You have Tea Leoni, you have 2 kids, you have a dog, you have a place that you've never been before. So what do? You wake up and
You
freak out.
You freak the hell out.
Yeah, I would freak out.
Shit,
Anybody would freak out, right? Anybody in this situation. So he runs down the stairs, he grabs the keys, he heads back into the city, says, "Where's my old life?" Right? Tries to bring up his old life.
Yeah.
This is my favorite. When he's driving into the city, he's in that minivan, and this is probably literally one of the last shots that you're going to get of the Twin Towers.
Dude, that shot though, I wrote it down like when he's driving the minivan and you see it in the background. It's like, was that a real shot? Like, is that a shot that's like, because it's like it was just flat, and then there's the city, like,
and nobody's on the road,
and it's just like.
It looks
like it felt like it was like a digital, like early, some kind of VFX or something like that. It felt like it was faked.
To me, it looked like The Walking Dead. Like when he was driving around, and he's on the interstate, and there's no other cars on the road. You see the city in the background. Nobody else is around. Yeah. Obviously, it's Christmas morning. Not many people are supposed to be out, but he makes it back into the city. And the first thing he does is he goes to his old home, and this is one of my favorite parts: is the doorman scene when. He has to realize that people really don't know him, and he thinks they do. And he's explaining to this older woman that they used to exchange sexual comments, and she's much older than him.
Yeah,
right. She's like a garden test.
Who is this man?
Oh, come on. What is going on with you two this morning? Is this like a Christmas joke? Who is this man? Well, we're on the co-op board together, Betty, and we fought side by side for garbage disposals, and every morning we exchange quasi-sexual, witty banter, okay?
Should I call the cops? I'm going to call the cops.
No, I'm going to call the cops! You're scaring me!
No.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for not calling the cops. Now, I'm going upstairs, I'm going to get some sleep, and then I'll be fine.
Sleep you shall. Noblesse oblige isn't dead. Not yet, anyway. Let's get you some help. Surely there's a shelter somewhere in this city.
A shelter? Hey, are you smacked out of your head? I'm the richest man in this building. I've got twice the square footage you have, and I'm going upstairs.
Take a walk, pal.
Oh, not cool. Not cool!
Dude, I swear to God, when I was watching this movie, when he goes, "You're scaring me," I just died laughing.
Yeah.
It's comedic. He's got some comedic chops.
Yeah, but dude, I would be flipping out also. He's not flipping out enough, it feels like,
Sure.
Hell no.
I would be having a breakdown at that point. He's
at that
into his
point,
building, yeah.
But what happens next is, he's going crazy, and then here comes the explanation. It has to happen in this movie because it's for a blockbuster. It's made for, people like me who need the trailers, according to you guys. Don Cheadle comes back up in his Porsche or Ferrari, and he gives the explanation. And I said, the first one is rap god Don Cheadle. This is mini shaft Don Cheadle because his hair is cut. He's got the black leather jacket with the white neck.
What is the
turtleneck?
What is the explanation exactly
of why he changes
or why it's happening?
Because he said that he had everything, and they wanted to show him that he didn't really have everything or something, or he didn't know what he was missing.
But then there was a separate explanation. I think it might have been later in the movie where he was like, "You won that I was a bad guy in that corner store, and you stepped in and you did the right thing."
Right.
So there's
so
these
now
two.
I'm
You're
gonna
right.
fuck your life up.
They're questionable explanations.
No shit.
So guess what? I'm gonna give you a couple of kids and just ruin your psyche.
I don't think I don't think
he wanted to give him a glimpse.
An angel.
And then, obviously, he jumps back in the minivan, goes back to suburbia because there's nowhere else to go. In fact, I don't know. If I had a family and I didn't think this was my family, I didn't think these were my kids, I'm not going back to that house, right? I'm going to, get a hotel or some shit, but I guess I don't have any money.
He doesn't. He doesn't have anything.
Right. I guess I'd call my parents or my other family. I guess maybe he doesn't have any family, but, I'd call your
that's
brother.
A good point.
And I'd be like, "Hey, man, I don't know what's going on, but I did something crazy last night. Woke up at some
And the story fits.
in the suburbia.
He has to use an old school pull-out map to find his house.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Nice
it fits.
touch.
Yeah,
Nice touch.
it is a great touch. It makes it more believable. He rolls up. We first meet Jeremy Piven. We go into Jeremy Piven's house. We figure out that they're friends.
And Nick Cage is so disappointed. And that was my note, is that I, too, would be so disappointed if I woke up and realized my best friend is Jeremy Piven. I'd be like, fuck this. This is
Yeah.
bullshit.
Goes in there. My favorite is like I said, like, so he's leaving the house. He's like going to get him back to his house, and I said, why is Piven leading into this hatred of family? Like, he hates suburban life. He gives this big explanation of, like, you know, about suicide and around the holidays, and like, you have this and you have that, and every time you look at this magazine with lingerie in it, you're gonna realize you're never gonna have that life again. He like goes off on this tangent, and I'm like, Jeremy Piven fucking hates his life.
Well, he says that Jeremy Piven had something that happened to him the year prior, and Cage was there for him and kind of pulled him out of it.
Yeah.
So like, this he thinks Cage is having a mental breakdown. He's like, whoa, chill out. This is like midlife crisis territory. So he's like, just chill. Like, I got through it. You'll get through it. It's just a trope.
Agreed. Jack gets home, and it's the Tea Leoni scene, right? When he comes back in the house, and she starts yelling at him, and I didn't realize what was going to happen after this, but I was like, damn, how many hours was he gone? She's like yelling like real hard.
Like most of the day. On Christmas Day.
Yeah. Because they were in New Jersey, and he like drove into the city. I mean, I'm not, that's probably like an hour or something. I would say he was gone, 5 or 6 hours or something like that.
Yeah, it was like most of the day.
Long enough to miss all of Christmas, all of the other shit.
12:30 back by lunch. Like,
maybe.
I don't know.
But it's not like him, because this is not him. This is Playboy Jack Campbell trying to, act as Dad Jack Campbell. Doesn't know what's going on still.
Right.
Trying to ring a bell.
I do like how she was like, it took you 6 hours to put that bike together, and you didn't get to see her open it. And I was like, 6 hours to put a fucking bike together?
What a nightmare.
God.
Then
I got to go back into the city.
Fuck this bike. All right. Next thing I wrote was Tea Leoni makes nagging look tolerable. And
I don't think she's like nagging that much, because he is acting fucking psychotic. Like, if this your husband is like, who was acting normal like one day, and then all of a sudden starts acting like this, like, you're gonna be a little bit fucking like
hard for both of them, right? I guess.
Yeah.
But Tea Leoni's great. she's great at parties and forgiveness. Like, she forgived him
for going AWOL.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I would not come out unscathed if I disappeared on Christmas Day for hours.
And she was ready to get it on in like the next scene.
Yeah, right. It's insane. All right, so we're on day 2. Still wanted to wake up single, but then Tea Leoni's shower scene.
Unexpected.
Right?
Had to be a body double, I'm betting.
I don't.
It seemed graphic for what it was. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
It was his first glimpse, like, since college, I guess. If you were following a timeline here, he hasn't seen how Tea Leoni has progressed, or Kate. I should call her Kate. All right. Once we pass the shower scene, we got the little girl recognizes Real. So his daughter is recognizing that he is not her dad, Jack.
Right.
Yeah.
He is this other guy, Jack, and she helps him get through the morning. Like, the daughter is the hero in this movie, I think. She's helping out. She's cute. She has funny jokes. She's great.
She luckily knows where the baby's daycare is, and she tell him how to get there, and then tells him where she needs to go, and like all the shit. It's like, God, this chick is a genius.
Yeah.
And what do you think? She's like 4 or something like that?
Tiny,
Right, 4.
It's like, you take the wheel, kid.
My 15-year-old couldn't tell me how to get to his school that I drive him to every morning. I guarantee it, he couldn't give me left and right directions.
Yeah.
But this little girl knew everything. You're absolutely right. You had to have somebody like that. Gets to the morning, gets to the drop-off, gets the kids done, and then what's next? He has to ask his daughter where he works, which is Big Ed's Tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote this down 4 times in all of my notes in 4 different places in the movie, and I want to say this. Why don't more people in situations like this just tell the person what's going on? And I wrote this down. I said, I think I would believe someone if they told me like an elaborate story now. Like,
would you?
I've seen this so
wait.
many times.
I cannot wait. I'm going to approach you
my
at Red Door and be like, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
I'm from the future.
And
Just hear me out, buddy.
if you made me believe you, like
Fuck,
you
I
could probably
can't
sell
wait.
me. If you could sell me, I think I would believe that now more times than not.
Okay, I can't
Wow.
wait. I'm gonna
Like I'm
talk
not
about-
putting somebody in a mental hospital because they come in and they say, "Hey, I'm in this alternate timeline. I woke up and like all my friends are, on the other side of the underside of the like Earth."
Okay.
Yeah. But you're also like,
And I'm visiting.
calling fucking bullshit because you're a dad with 2 kids and a shitty job and probably just having a mental breakdown. Like
That's just it. He tries to tell her multiple times, and it just comes across like he's having a midlife crisis. Like he's like, "This isn't me. This isn't." It sounds like to her, she's probably hearing, "Yeah, he had a different life plan, but this is where he's at."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. Who's not?
But,
All right.
Get
but
over
she
it.
should have known that there was like something more than that was off. Like after like so many things happened, like it was
Sure.
just like this is more than some kind of like midlife crisis.
True, yeah.
This dude is like legit, either like having a thing or just like crazy.
Or start asking him like personal questions. See if he can answer. Right? Where did we do this a month ago? Where did we like stuff
You
like
just-
that?
Easy. Ask me. I am from the future, and
Yeah. All right. We're back in the movie. We're in the bowling alley. This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. Is this bowling alley scene?
Right.
Is because he gives an explanation on what he's done as Playboy Nick Cage. While he's terrible at bowling, apparently he's supposed to be good. But this kind of kicks off this whole snowball or roller coaster effect of. We meet the infidelity, we start talking about like morals, and we start doing all these things. But to me, this kind of gets it all kicked off.
You're Jack Campbell. You're better than this sport. You shot the rapids at Kenai. You ran with the bulls in Pamplona. You jumped out of an airplane over the Mojave Desert. For Christ's sake, you can do this. You can do this. Yes!
He had like 4 pins down, by the way.
7.
No 7.
All right. High five.
You're up, Slash. Get him.
We get a little bit of eccentric Nick Cage there. He's got to act out a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, very little in this movie. I do like it though because like when he first meets Jeremy Piven and goes to his house, he sees that picture of him and Jeremy Piven like holding a bowling trophy, and he cringes like so hard. Like when he
Yeah,
sees
like,
it, it's just like, ugh.
At this point, I said like, are we as viewers trying to figure out which life is better? Is it
Easy answer.
they're putting us in the box and they're saying, is it this a lone playboy life, or is it this like fulfilled family life with bowling on the week days,
Right.
hanging out with the same friends and everything, or whatever?
Right.
And as soon as I started asking myself that question, boom, right in the face, affair alert. Like, this is when we kind of get the red-headed lady of the neighborhood with the she's well endowed.
Yeah, they already played her up earlier at the party. They were
Right.
Oh,
at.
yeah, the
She
party.
was, like throwing the party and like really, she's like,
eyeballing Cage.
yeah. What did she say? She's like, you like this dress when I wore it at some other thing or whatever.
Right.
Like.
So we get this, and then we get the explanation, because then he goes up to his friend Ernie, who's played by Jeremy Piven, and he says, Lorraine, I think that was her name, Lorraine, just,
I'm
I'm gonna need you to write her address down so I
Right.
can go bang her.
Yeah.
And it's like he slips for a minute and forgets that like where he's at. And then Jeremy Piven talks about the Fidelity Bank and Trust, which is one of my favorite things in the whole movie, is when he brings up the Fidelity Bank and Trust. But I was like, is Jeremy Piven good? Like,
Yeah, he pulls his ass out kind of like he did. He returns the favor. He turned out to be a solid friend.
Yeah.
See, I think Jeremy Piven wanted Kate all along.
Then he would have let him do it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let him
All
fuck
right.
up and
So
then he can
breaking this
remember.
down, Playboy Nick Cage, Dad Nick Cage, right?
Yeah.
Both can get whoever they want. Like I think you might be right on this. The same character. Playboy Nick Cage has the chick in the office who shows up, even though she says she's not going to, on Christmas Day at the end of the movie, right? And then you've got suburban Nick Cage obviously engaging in an affair
Right.
or like starting an affair or at least flirting or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing that both Nick Cage's whatever had in common was they knew how to read people. Like that was his whole thing. He was a good salesman and he knew how to read people. Like when he was successful and when he was like a tire salesman, that was like one thing they established.
But he's got a bunch of women throwing themselves at him like all over the place.
Must be
It's
that
like,
hairline.
It's the plugs. I'm telling you. We get home. We get into the cake scene. The cake scene's one of my favorite things in the movie. This is where husband and wife, flirting.
Right.
He acts like he's never seen her before. She's in love again. He's being very romantic, very chivalrous. And then we
flirty.
You flirty? Yeah, we start making out. We're on the stairs.
Making out.
We've got some cake there that she stole, and he wants his cake back, so he's chasing her around the house. Like you see this is great rom-com shit right here.
It looked that cake looked like it was from.
This is what the women came to see. The cake looked awful.
Like
by the way.
It looked like it was from that kid's diper from earlier.
that cake was super dark.
They had like that cake all over their face.
Yeah, it looked like it'd been in the fridge for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway, we get on the stairs, and it's kind of one of my favorite scenes of the movie because he just mishaps because he has no idea. Getting hot and heavy, and you've been there in an intimate situation before, and you say the wrong thing.
You know what I like to hear.
Yeah, baby, I know what you like to hear.
And tell me.
You're a bad girl, baby. You make me so hot.
What?
Not it.
Not it. And he says, not it after that.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things.
It was pretty funny, actually.
It's actually, it's one of the funniest parts of the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's weird listening to people make out in headphones. Though.
Yeah, there's a lot of slurping.
I'm not a fan of that.
After this happens, okay, let's speed it up. Jack finds research on himself, which is smart, right? Watches old home videos, learns what he needs to say from those old home videos that she says in that previous scene. Kind of learns what he's doing, and then I wrote that singing, though, and he is in this video where he's singing to his wife. First verse goes great. First chorus goes great. Second verse goes a little something like this.
The things I am saying are true, and the way I explain them to you. Get down to you. Listen to me, la 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 means I love you. Oh, la 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 means
I mean, maybe got it at the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't feel like that's that bad.
The
And I feel like
beginning
Nicolas
wasn't
Cage.
great.
If there's any singing, Nicolas Cage is just always like, "I'm doing it."
No, he does.
There's not gonna be a voiceover or anything. Like I 100% think of that.
That's a requirement, I think, in Nick Cage movies, is he has to sing his own parts.
And I feel like he's been a decent singer in some other stuff, right?
Peggy Sue got married.
Yeah, I guess the only other thing he sang was like Elvis, right? Like,
And Wild at Heart.
Wild at Heart.
all right, never mind. I was trying to make a point, but I
It's
think
all right.
We
it's
might
just
watch
like,
in
what's
this
he doing?
series. We might watch some more movies where we're gonna get more singing Nick Cage. Excited about that. Anyway, so after this, then we wake up the next morning. We're on day 3 of Daddy Jack. And I wrote, "Oh no, Castor Troy forgot their anniversary."
So real quick though, I just have to say, like, fuck this shit. Like the slow zoom in on his face when you see him, like he's singing, and it's like, oh, he's changing. It's like, God, fuck this. This movie is so fucking generic.
It's like
so
Chevy
just,
Chase
like,
watching the
telegraph.
movie in the attic. Like,
No, it's nothing like
but
that.
I'm talking
But
about the
slow-mo.
the change of the. You're right.
Yeah, because he's not having like a complete like life emotional change in just watching this tiny little video like he is.
Sure.
Like, because he is like going into it one way and watches that, and then it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, all of a sudden that's the switch that gets flipped.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, I was like, all right, magic videotape, magic VHS.
Yeah.
So Castor Troy forgets their anniversary. We get to that scene. She has something for him. He has nothing for her.
Conveniently falls within the 3 weeks he's in this
Correct.
daydream or
yeah,
whatever.
right at the
Yeah.
end. Right at the end.
Is that? It felt like it was like getting to be a really long time.
3 days.
That was it?
It was
3
3
days?
days?
It was
So
3 days.
Fuck
they got
off.
married 3 days after Christmas.
I guess so. I have no idea. But forgets their anniversary, and I just wrote again for the second or third of 5 times, just fucking tell her you're not you. I'm kind of getting tired of it.
But he does. In the restaurant, they go to that restaurant, and he does. I think he explains it again, but like in a different way.
Yeah.
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 And again, she should have known then. She's like, who the fuck is this dude that's like ordering like, in this French restaurant like he owns the place, has been here a million times.
Dude.
Like, I know this guy. He's a bowling guy.
That's right.
I
And
said New Jack is back.
some of the best acting in that movie is when he orders that $800 bottle of wine, and then was like, actually, just give us the house red, and the waiter's face was like,
You're
that's the
absolutely
best acting in the
right.
whole movie.
You
That's
were
best
so
supporting
right.
actor right there.
should have been that guy.
And then I put, they're out to dinner. You're right. He orders the thing. They can't afford it all. I said, finally, he's going to tell her, and then psych. Like, he almost gets to the point again, and then does not do it. And then I wrote in quotations, what are you sure about? I'm not sure why I put that, but I put, after that, I said, research paid off. Did he bang her? Is that like Troy banging Archer's wife?
Because of the
Because
moral
that
implications.
night, he definitely, that's when they consummated this, whatever it was.
This 3-day marriage.
Yeah, this 3-day thing. And I was like, and that's what I wanted to bring up with you guys. Is that like Castor Troy banging Sean Archer's wife? Like, it's not your wife. You've known her for 3 days. So
Yeah.
that
I mean,
begs
your
a
whole-
question here.
But it kind of is your wife. Because
Right.
I
it's
mean,
like
you're
the other, it's you, but alternate
Right.
reality you.
Yeah. You don't like. Meanwhile, is the other Jack Campbell fucking up his his Wall Street job?
I mean, nothing happens on the other end, right?
Nothing.
Because he just like starts right back where he was.
Exactly. I think it's okay because you have a history with this person. It's not a complete stranger.
Yeah.
And you clearly have something going on. So, like, I think it's probably fine.
Yep.
Yeah. And if not, I blame Don Cheadle.
So,
Don't put me in this fucking situation, Don Cheadle.
so they're developing this big. God damn. So they're developing this big, relationship. She's rekindling. She's like getting that old flame back. He's discovering someone new. And then the one scene that broke me down is after this. I think I almost shed a tear. Didn't fully came like watered. Maybe one didn't drop down the cheek.
When he
But-
went back?
Well, no, when he goes and meets up with his old work buddies, and then he goes back to the house, and then Annie, the oldest daughter, says, "I knew you'd come back." And she recognized that he was no longer this guy who didn't know what to do. He was now Daddy Jack again.
He's the dad.
And I was like, holy shit. I wrote it. Look, you can read it. Holy shit, almost teared up.
I bet you did.
It was a great scene. That girl was incredible.
She's
The
okay.
girl
She was a good actor, yeah.
She was the hero. She was the best part of the movie to me.
To me, that part was just like it did not have the same effect on me. And I can shed a tear in a movie. I'm not ashamed to admit that, but it did not have that effect on me.
Yeah, same.
The next time we see Don Cheadle, he is behind a counter as a corner store clerk. Now,
Right.
The shoes on the other foot,
What do you call him this time?
and
Bodega.
Bodega Don,
Don
Cheadle,
Cheadle?
Yeah.
Bodega Don.
7-Eleven Don Cheadle, and he is testing a girl who is buying a Coca-Cola Classic. And
Nice.
he gives the incorrect change to her, and she does not mention it and walks out.
Right.
This is where I'm thinking, like, I know
what
y'all
kind of
think
life's
this
he
is
gonna
like
give
a
that?
guide, but like this, he plays the angel role in any traditional like fucking Christmas movie that something like this would be about,
So she
right?
fails the test. How's he gonna fuck her life up?
He's not. He's just testing people to see if they are worthy or not. Right?
Of what? A life
Yeah,
change?
worthy
Because
of
he
what?
he tells Jack not long after this that like you were, I guess, worthy of a glimpse. He said a glimpse. You got a glimpse, right?
He said
And
you
that's what the
brought
whole
this on yourself.
the whole movie is about.
Like a punishment.
The whole movie is about a glimpse. Jack doesn't want to go back to his real life. He says a glimpse, by definition, is impermanent.
Right.
And Jack starts, freaking out. He doesn't want to go back. Quit fucking up my life. You already fucked it up once. I got used to this life. Don't fuck it up again. I got to go back to this life.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to this life? Like you're messing with somebody's head. And what happens? Doesn't matter. Time's up. Goes back. Jack wakes up next morning. And I said, why is the bed fully made? And then I watched the movie for a second time and realized why the bed was fully made. Because if you watch that scene, he wakes up and I'm like, why is the bed fully like crisp and made and whatever? And then I watched the second time over in the very first scene when he goes back and lays down, he lays on top of the bed. So he's waking up in the same position that he went to sleep. So was this all a dream?
Yes.
Well, what happens when you wake up from a dream like that? And the dream that you just had. He literally got in his car, went back home. It's the same fucking thing he did in the beginning, right?
It's true. Goes to the other house, right?
Goes home. I said, what's going to happen? Oh, shit. Well, if he wakes up, then Kate's timeline changed. So they didn't live at the house anymore.
Right. Of course.
Then we meet Kate on a brand new timeline, the one that should have happened all along if Nick Cage or Jack would have just stayed away, would have not picked up the phone and called, would have not met Don Cheadle. Kate would have been fine because she was a fucking for-profit lawyer.
I don't think it's a brand new timeline, though. I think it's just like
the original timeline.
Back to reality.
That's it.
Gotcha. So he had a glimpse of what they would have been together.
Yeah.
But we meet Kate. Kate, she's a boss. She's fucking running shit around. She's got confidence.
Yep.
She's not just a mom. She's not friends, with all these like weird people in the neighborhood. She's like just a boss. Do this, do that. Here's the direction. I'm moving here. We're doing big things. And all she wants to do is give Jack his box
His
back.
old T-shirts.
Yeah.
His old T-shirts and CDs.
Joe brought up as a weird part of the movie.
Right. Why she carrying
because
that shit around?
because she's lecturing him about like being over like their relationship or whatever, but at the same time she's held onto this box this whole entire time and
13
waits till
years.
she's getting ready to leave the country to give it back to him, even though they've presumably been living in the same city for the past 13 years. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, dude. She's hung up.
But he's going to reverse what he did, right? He's going to reverse it. He loves her. He's seen a future with her.
Not
now,
the way I see it.
Now he's like, I'm going to hear what you see, but let's get through this. He's going to reverse it, right? He's going to undo it, and then we get more airport scenes, right? Kate's like, I got to fly. I got to move here.
Right.
I'm gone forever. And then Nick Cage sounds fucking crazy towards the whole end of this movie.
Yes.
Hold on real quick though, like when he goes to the airport to meet her, like pulls up in front of the airport, jumps out of the car, dude's like, you can't park your car here. How many times has that line been said in the movie?
You just throw the keys to the guy who said that?
Yeah, that it's been like it. That's 100 movies. I feel like
it.
that's been it.
The most recent one I can think of is Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone and the kid driving the little white truck, and he like pulls up and he just throws the keys at the guy. Keep
That's
it.
the most recent
It's
one you can
it's
think
mostly like keep it, right? That's
Yeah.
what you get. It's like fuck it, I can't park here. Keep the car.
Yeah, I feel like Fear and Loathing has a scene like that. I don't know. There's
So many movies.
Yeah.
But when Nick Cage goes into the airport in the very last scene of this movie, well, the next to last scene, so we're setting this up. Kate's going to leave this time. It's his turn to try to woo her back to this new life that he's seen, but she hasn't seen.
Right.
And he sounds like a fucking psycho. And like, if anybody was witnessing this, including her, I would be like, arrest this man.
Dude, she's been waiting 13 years to hear that.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I 100% agree. Like red flags immediately when he storms into her apartment when she's getting ready to move out and starts like spilling all this shit. She's like, this has got to be so many red flags. She's like, I'm out of here. And then he shows up at the airport. She's got to be like,
Whoa.
there's
I don't know who you-
100% chance there's no way I'm not getting on this airplane right now.
Damn
Like,
right.
I'm not sitting down with this dude who is like mentally like having a breakdown.
Yeah,
But
dude.
he kept talking in mental breakdown fashion, and then finally, somehow at the end, tells like some kind of like relatable thing about her, and then asks for just one cup of coffee like
No.
5 times.
She must have taken that breakup really hard because I think she just wanted to hear that for 13 years, and this was perfect for her. She was
I
like,
mean,
finally,
maybe, but she
finally.
changed her life. Like, he fucked his life up to do this. Like, his real life.
Sure.
You know, he was supposed to go
Right.
on that trip to Aspen to save this merger or whatever, like, blah, blah, blah. And she was getting ready to go and open the whatever she was going to do in Paris.
Yep.
And they both, like, derailed their life again to, like, fucking be together.
Yeah. Unless she paid Don Cheadle to drug him and like fuck with his life. That's what I think. I think that's what's happening. She calls, so like that's in his head. She calls him earlier in the day, meets Don Cheadle, and like fucking like drugs his ass. And then like it's all like a fucking head game.
It really is an acid trip. The whole movie really
an
is a fucking acid trip.
It is. And then
Holy
like
shit.
and then he's like, okay, yeah, no. We had kids and stuff. It's like, we sure did. And
So she elaborately set all this up. They rented
Yeah.
a house. They
Yeah.
created a family.
no. I'm not
No.
saying there was no
Oh.
house, man. That's
Oh.
Yeah,
just dressing.
That was like
That's
in his
part of the
brain,
drugs?
I
yeah,
guess.
yeah.
So anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this movie up. She agrees. They do 1 cup of coffee. We see them having coffee at a scene in the airport with snow. It's once again Christmas, and then let's let the credits roll up the screen. End of movie. That is 2000's The Family Man Run Through by Bucky's Basement.
Oh, do you think they sent him to the Oasis? Or what was the place called?
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
Yeah.
Do you think just watching them because you don't get their dialogue in the coffee shop, you think they're going to make it?
I think they're going to make it. I don't think it's going to be the life that
Right.
I think we started late in life. That's what, 13
Right.
years later.
Right.
I think we're starting a little late, so maybe they don't have those same kids. Maybe not the cute girl. Maybe they don't have that house or
Right.
are friends with Jeremy Piven.
Yeah.
But,
they're
like,
both sabotaging their careers, like,
Right.
to be together, it seems like.
Yeah.
that maybe
Now-
they're a power couple.
See, I read that scene as she's sitting there just doing all the talking, and he's sitting across from her just going, "Oh fuck, I fucked up." Like that's how I saw it in my head. I was like, "Oh, he's like, I'm not supposed to be here. I need to get back to that fucking merger."
No,
Anyway,
no,
anyway,
no.
all
This
right.
is a rom-com Christmas movie ending. And we can argue about that to the death.
We will.
Anyway, on Casting Cage, on these episodes, we have a couple of things we like to get into after we run through the plot. Our first one is movie marriage, where we take 2 movies that we think that it possibly inspired this movie or that are relatable. If you haven't seen The Family Man, maybe these will inspire you to go out and see it. I'm going to get things kicked off. I have It's a Wonderful Life and Trading Places.
Solid.
Is what I feel that this has a vibe of.
It's got a glimpse of what your life could have been, right?
Yep.
So yeah, you're solid on that. That's
Yep.
good. I did Scrooged, and I started to go Peggy Sue Got Married because of the dreams part of it.
Yeah.
But then I liked your Trading Places analogy, so I stole it, or I
You went there.
borrowed it.
I went It's a Wonderful Life, and I went It Could Happen to You because I felt like it was just a very generic romantic comedy.
Yeah.
But let's talk about. I mean, I think Nick Cage did a great job in this, and I think
Sure.
y'all can disagree with me. I think his acting was decent. I think he's hitting a stride here. I think it's like enjoyable.
I think it was so subdued compared to everything that he's done in the past 5 movies, like coming up to. I mean, even in like
Gone in 60 Seconds, he was subdued.
No, he wasn't.
I mean, he's not crazy.
But he's not. Yeah. No,
He's not Goodspeed the Rock. He's not Cameron Poe. He's not
He did
all
what
that
it
stuff
wa-
towards
he-
the late 90s.
He did what was called for.
Yeah,
he
I
did
got
fine.
City of Angels.
City of yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like similar to City of Angels for me.
Just wait till Captain Corelli's mandolin.
Wait till you hear
Is
that
that what's
accent.
next?
Yeah.
All right.
We watched the trailer a couple of weeks ago, and it was like that accent, dude.
Yeah. Another segment we have on Casting Cage for this week's episode of The Family Man is taglines, where we take the original tagline, something you would see it on a movie poster, and we read that, and then we create what we think the tagline should be. We're going to let Juicebox read the tagline for The Family Man.
The Family Man. What if you made different choices? What if you said yes instead of no? What if you got a second chance?
The show I was thinking about was The Naked Truth from 1995 to 1998. That's Tea Leoni was a paparazzi person living in an apartment.
Right. I remember that show. That must be where I developed my crush on Tea Leoni also.
That was where I developed mine for sure. And then, like you said, Bad Boys, Deep Impact, Jurassic Park 3, Spanglish, Fun with Dick and Jane. Sorry. Anyway, my tagline.
Should we start a Tea Leoni podcast?
Well, maybe. This sounds like some movies that Bucky loves.
It's going to be a two-man podcast.
I've got The Family Man. You don't know Jack.
Oh, that's better than those two.
It 100% is.
All right, here we go. Do I have to do it the goofy one? The Family Man. Don't quit your day job.
The Family Man. Want to be successful? Don't get married or have kids.
I mean, he seemed so happy at the beginning. Like he seemed legit 100% together.
He was singing like blah 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 blah.
I mean,
he was
in black whitey tighties. Like
I mean, he was still like a shitty boss or whatever, you know, I guess making people work
people-
on Christmas Day and yada, yada, yada. But it was also
Gordon Gekko.
the world's largest merger up to date or something like that. It was like hundreds of billions of dollars in like 2000.
Right.
So it was like,
they're all probably gonna make millions of dollars. I think we'd all be working Christmas.
yeah, you know what? Huh. That's really,
Yeah.
He doesn't really seem
five
like that.
zeros.
Yeah,
You know,
does
my
not seem
present
like that.
comes in 5 zeros, is what he said, which is great. All right, so one of the final things that we do for Casting Cage, if you are joining us, is we have a 3-tier rating system. If you're coming to us from Cage Fight, we really appreciate it. We hope you ride this thing out. I think Old Boy's going to get us kicked off this week with his
Okay.
review on The Family Man.
All right, I'm a little tired, a little wired, and I think I deserve a little appreciation.
Will I rewatch it? Probably not. But like, it wasn't the worst movie I've seen. It's not even the worst Cage movie I've seen. It was fine. There were some funny things in it. It's convoluted. I get it. We've all seen this movie before, but it was fine for what it was. And I thought Cage did fine. It was. I don't have a boner for Tea Leoni, but she did good too.
Fair enough.
I don't think that was her in that shower, but
Okay.
that was
Yeah,
hot.
I kind of do think it was, but I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
If you think so the way I look at it is like genres, right? If we're putting this, we're not just putting this in Casting Cage. I need to put this movie in a genre. It's rom-com, right? I mean, that's or not even com, like rom.
Or it's like a
light on
family
com.
feel good. Like I have I joke with my wife. Her family loves movies like this. They're predictable. They're feel good movies. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what it is. It's a feel good family movie.
That's it. Juicebox said the other day, he said, God, why does every Nick Cage movie or these movies in the 2000s have to be over 2 hours long?
Oh my God.
And when you said that, I was like, I'm fucking dreading watching another 2+ hour movie with Nick Cage, because this has gotten, it gets repetitive. It's long. It's like, God damn, how am I going to watch this twice?
Yeah,
but
it's hard when you start a movie at like 9 or 9:30.
But
Dude,
when you come
yeah.
out of an experiment like Cage Fight, and you fight 28 Nick Cage movies, and then you watch this movie once, and then it is easy to watch it again.
Yeah, he's awful damn good. I think I got the best one.
I explain that for the genre alone. Nick Cage's acting, Tea Leoni's fucking awesome to me as always. Don Cheadle made me feel comfortable in this movie. Like you said, the counselor from the Fat Camp movie, Heavyweights is in it. There's like some bunch of little side characters that I enjoy.
Who is the counselor from Heavyweights?
He's one of the bowling partners.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the reason I say that is because if this came on TBS or TNT or whatever,
But why doesn't it?
If it did during the holiday season, I would watch this over some shit that I've watched plenty of other times. I would watch this again. I enjoyed it. Highest rating.
Man, the dude that was the counselor from Heavyweights, I guess. Like I meant to mention earlier, but that dude at one point is like, "What, you don't remember? I'm having my triple bypass tomorrow." And he's like eating chicken wings, and they're like, "Hey, why not have another beer? Like, get wasted."
Yeah, dude.
And he's just like, "Yeah,
They're gonna
it's like
clean
a
me out
reset."
anyway.
Yeah. And then they're bowling like 2 days, like what, 2 days later or something
Right.
like that. He's there, like
He's there.
all good. Like it was like, God, is this dude an angel? Is this Nathaniel fucking Metzinger or whatever
There
that
you
dude's
go.
name
It's
is?
that guy.
So I don't know. This movie, like when I think I said it earlier, like I started watching it, I was like, oh yeah, I know this movie. You know, I already know what's gonna happen. But then I was like tricked myself into thinking that it was like Scrooged, or you know,
Right,
like that it was Christmas past, future, present, blah blah blah. It was not that movie. Tea Leoni is hot, and I think she did a great job in this movie. I like Don Cheadle. I honestly wish he was in the movie more. I think Nick Cage was super subdued. I think this movie was predictable and boring, and I will never watch it again.
Hell yeah.
I fucking hated this movie. I'm going to be honest. Like, it was like a struggle to get through it because it was just like, I already know what's going to happen for the most part. Like, it's just like, and then, you know, that.
So focus on the acting.
I don't. It's not doing it for me. Cage's acting is like fine, but it is so boring and plastic in this movie. It's just like, it's like generic. It is a generic movie. This is a generic movie that was made to come out around the holidays and appeal to the masses that wanted to go see a movie at Christmas.
I'm real glad you actually did that because I feel like because I was like, man, I need to be a little more fair in this and that. I don't want to just come out swinging.
I don't want to tell people to watch this movie because I think it sucks. And you're right. It's like there's a reason it's not shown around Christmas. It's not a Christmas staple. It's
We're not fighting
Lost in
this isn't
Paradise
Cage fighting
or
anymore.
whatever. It's always Cage fight, brother.
No,
I've already got his stats.
We've made our decision. This is one of the one of the rare
zeros
movies
across the board.
This is one of the rare movies where we all have a different rating, and I actually love that because that's why we do this each and every week as three, people who absolutely love films. But anyway, we've gone through everything that we can for The Family Man, except we want to know what was happening when The Family Man came out, because this is 2000. This is probably holiday fucking ramp up season.
Dude, this is like blockbuster type season. It feels like around Christmas, I guess.
Yeah, I want to hear it, because what were we doing in October and November in the year 2000? I guarantee we were doing it.
Working at the 4.
Yep.
All right, here's what was out. Number 1 that week, Castaway.
Wow.
Huge movie. All right.
Number 2, and that was like the first week that came out.
Oh, what week is this? Do you know?
Sorry, it's December 22nd, 2000. So
that's
it's
when
like,
The Family Man came
yeah,
out.
So
3
it's
days
3
before
days before
Christmas.
The Friday before, like Christmas would have been on a Monday unless this came out like on a Wednesday or something.
That's
I didn't look that up.
It's Christmas, and you're releasing a Christmas movie 3 days before Christmas.
They knew it wasn't strong, so they were hoping to just get the Christmas crowd. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie, and it finished.
Don't wink at me.
And it finished third after a dude that was abandoned on.
Yeah, starred one person.
So a lot more people wanted to see that guy abandoned on island.
in a volleyball.
So anyway, it was Castaway, What Women Want, which is that Mel Gibson movie, right? Like,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
then The Family Man, then How the Grinch Stole Christmas,
Big one.
which was Jim
Live
Carrey.
action Jim Carrey?
That would have
Yeah.
been the Jim Carrey version. Miss Congeniality, Dracula 2000. Not totally sure what that is. Dude, Where's My Car?
Okay.
Which, by the way, that was the number 9th movie that week. It was the number 2 movie the week before. It had made like $24 billion. Dude, where's my car? That is fucking
Ashton
hilarious.
Kutcher and the dude from American Pie were big right then.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And I did love that movie. I mean,
Sure.
it was a guilty pleasure. Let's see. Unbreakable, Charlie's Angels, Oh Brother Where Art Thou. That was the first week that came out, but I think that was like limited release or something. Like it just goes on, and it's shit that's been like
That we all know.
Yeah, shit we've all know. It's insane. Like the last week of 2000, or the week before Christmas in 2000 was a good time to go see a movie in the theater.
Absolutely. So give me some stats on this movie if you have them pulled up. Like, do you know what this movie made?
So, I mean, according to IMDb, it was estimated a $60 million budget, which I guess that majority of that goes to acting.
It has to.
And it made $124 million worldwide. Because it's such a fucking digestible movie for the masses, man.
Yeah.
It is. It's something that you can put in the theater. People are going to go see it. Gives you options other than, the other things that you actually mentioned. And, it's they can produce it. They can put it big. Tea Leoni was big. Nick Cage was big. Don Cheadle was big. Let's put them all into some, this like you said, digestible movie. That I thoroughly enjoyed. But speaking of that, I'm really excited for the next episode in Casting Cage, because we are going to get into the ultra famous, the one that everybody's heard of, Captain Corelli's Mandolin, starring Nicolas Cage and a young Penelope Cruz coming on the scene.
He sounds like he's doing a Mario impression.
He does. We've watched the trailer for this, and we're excited for it. I guarantee you, I've never seen it. I know neither of you have ever seen it.
No.
There's probably nobody that's listening to me right now that's ever seen Captain Corelli's Mandolin. I want to do stats on that to figure out if it came out in the theater, if it was big. I'm excited to pull up that part of the episode. But we are back from Cage Fight. Go back and listen to that entire miniseries. It's 10 straight episodes of us fighting Nick Cages against each other. Tons of fun arguments. We're back with Fast Pitch, where we write movies in 15 minutes. We're back for you each and every week. You can find us on any podcast network that you're obviously listening. Also, check out YouTube. We do a great thing here. We've got a beautiful decorated basement, well-produced episodes. Go to buckysbasement.com and check us out on any social media platform at Bucky's Basement.
Not on TikTok.
But not on TikTok. Thank you so much for listening. And when you're out in them streets,
Tell your mom and them.
I don't want kids. I don't want kids. I just want pets. I just want pets. I can't foresee that this will be one of my great regrets. Your kids are fine. Your kids are fine. 'Cause they're not mine. 'Cause they're not mine. To me, a life lived without children sounds divine. I don't want kids. I don't want kids. I just want pets. I just want pets. I can't foresee